Jay Velez-Mitchell reporting live with an Unchained TV exclusive. We are talking to the two women who raced onto the field during the season opener at SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles to send a message about factory farming. They got huge global coverage. We're going to find out in a second why they did that. But first, let's take a look at exactly what they did.
No. Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny. We were right here. Security is just like,
hey, what they doing?
They're not going to be like,
hey!
Protester.
Tackle her. Tackle her.
Oh! Hit her head and everything. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh, now they're going to jail. Two of them, yeah, now they're going to jail.
Now they're going to jail. These are the two women who were on that field. I want to start with Katia. That's how you want to be identified. Tell us why you took this dramatic action that got so much national and global press coverage. Katia.
I wanted to bring, I wanted to bring attention to the right to rescue. Two of my activist friends are facing years in prison, up to 10 years in prison for rescuing two sick piglets from a factory farm, Smithfield factory farm. And it should never be a crime to rescue animals. We rescue dogs from a hot car. Why can't we rescue pigs from suffering in factory farms?
So
that's why we did this.
Show us the t-shirt you wore when you went onto the field. Right2rescue.com. I'm going to lower the banner so everybody can see it. That's the actual t-shirt you wore. And you can hear people talking about it and trying to figure out what it is as they watch you do this extraordinary demonstration. So I want to go now to Emek Echo, who you were tackled. And we're going to show that video right now and then ask you how you feel today physically and also emotionally. Wow, check this out.
Oh, now they're going to jail. Two of them, yeah, now they're going to jail. Get something in your hand.
Right to rescue. Right to choose. Right to rescue. Right to rescue.
Jump down.
Oh, they're carrying that.
That was so funny. Right here. Wow. We're coming from a mile away. I don't know how they came from that side also.
What does the shirt say?
Now I'm going to film them.
Where you going? Where we at? Oh, what did you get arrested for? What are you doing?
How did she get that? Right here. Right here. That's her jacket right there. Her shirt.
Yeah, she took it off.
There you are. Emmett, tell us why you did that and how are you feeling? Like you were tackled.
Yes, and I didn't know how bad it was before I saw my head literally bouncing off the ground. It felt like it cracked. So I lost my feelings on my legs for a little bit and I couldn't even see anything. When they were dragging me, I was somewhat unconscious. But then it came and I was able to walk. So I'm much better today. I still have some soreness and some stuff that is not serious. I went to ER last night and they said I'm okay. I have some neck injury and stuff, but it's going to be okay. I just need to observe it. And
Why did you do it? Why did you do it?
Because simple. I just love animals and I used to eat them and use them. And some people said, if you don't eat your dogs and cats, why do you eat the other animals? And that clicked in me that we were doing something wrong to these sentient beings who deserve all the rights that we have. They can live happy and free like we do. And there's a horrible cruelty going on in factory farms. And our friends Wayne and Paul had showed that they have evidence of enormous cruelty that nobody could even process in their minds, because we trust these companies and the governments to do the right thing, but they are not doing the right thing. So we just want them to own up to their mistakes and hopefully switch to plant-based industries and stop abusing animals, workers, humans, and the planet.
And by the way, we invite any companies involved, including Smithfield, which, by the way, is a Chinese-owned company. Wayne, Hsiung, and Paul Picklesimer are set to go on trial in October in Utah. They face up to 11 years in prison for rescuing those two piglets you're seeing right there, who are, according to published reports, valued at $50 each. And Wayne has estimated that this is a very, very expensive prosecution of them. Katia, I want to ask you, why did you do it? Speak from the heart. What was your motive?
And just like Emek, I love animals, and I'm vegan because of the animals, and I'm an activist because I want to change the way we treat animals. I did it because my activist friends are facing prison time, and I want to bring darkness into the light and show the world how corrupt these industries are and how much they torture animals.
You see very
Compassion
emotional.
without action is just observation. We have to do something. You know, I used to think that, oh, someone needs to do something about that. But I'm somebody. We all need to do something. You don't have to get arrested, but we all need to take action. We all need to take action. We need to help these voiceless animals. They have no one to protect them. And the people that do protect them are criminals. That's not right.
And again, you know, we want to make it very clear that we invite all the companies, the representatives, government agencies, anybody on anytime to Unchained TV to dialogue, to respond, to comment. In fact, we would love to dialogue with you. So let me ask you this, Emek, what happened? You were tackled. And I want to show another angle of this extraordinary event that happened during the season opener. Let's show what happened on Twitter. This is just one of many Twitter feeds that this one got hundreds and hundreds of views. What you did was seen by millions of people, extraordinary media attention. There you go. Did you expect, Emek, to get the kind of media attention you got? Because it is everywhere.
I mean, I really wasn't focusing on that. My focus was to help my friends who are really amazing people, and I trust the system, but I see that there's something wrong in there, where my friends are already treated like criminals when they just rescued two innocent piglets. Even FBI went after a hunt for them, which makes no sense at all. FBI is supposed to protect us, and they should be the ones maybe to tell these companies to do what's right, but they are doing the contrary stuff. Like, my point was just to show people that we're just regular people who can get some attention to really important subjects that affect us all. And our friends don't deserve to go to prison over 10 years to involve people into taking action to heal the planet and ourselves by helping animals. It's a very simple act. And the judge doesn't let our friends to show the evidence at court. And what's the jury doing there if they can't even see a fair trial? How are they going to make a healthy decision? So these things made me really upset because I trust the system, as I said, but they should have a fair trial, and they are preventing and doing everything they can to prevent a fair trial, which is illegal in my eyes, and it shouldn't even be happening. It's a shame that we are treated like this, and our friends are threatened to be killed or even sent to prison over 10 years. It's not fair. So I just wanted to do my best. I even hate running. The only time I run is when I'm with BXC or taking an action for animals, because I put myself on the side. I just focus on helping others. So I ran I was tackled and it hurt a lot, but I'm glad that we were able to reach someone.
No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that's so funny. We were right here. Security is just like,
Hey, what they doing?
they're not gonna be like,
Hey!
you're gonna tackle them. What is she gonna do? She protest her.
Tackle her. Tackle her.
Oh! Hit her head and everything. Oh no! Oh god.
Oh, now they're going to jail. Two of them, yeah. Now they're going to jail.
So a couple of observations there. The guys who were watching, who happened to be near the camera that recorded this, they were treating it like you were part of the entertainment, and they were going, whoa, she got tackled, as if you were a football player, but you had a very serious message. And then you heard them say, oh, what was on her t-shirt? Right2rescue.com. They really didn't understand what it was. They were actually wondering if it was some kind of viral advertising campaign. Do you think, Katia, that you were getting through to people, that it got a lot of coverage? I just grabbed a couple of the clips, but I could be doing this all day. It was all over everywhere, not to mention the social media on Twitter. There's a shot of the two of you. Is this you before arrest or after arrest?
Before.
That was before going into it. Well, let me ask you a question, just a personal question, issues aside. How'd you get the nerve to do this? I'm nervous just looking at you doing this, Katia.
This is probably my fourth or fifth action, but never in this NFL situation. I'm not a football fan. I think it's a very violent sport, and being there and watching these super fans, I mean, they're crazy. I mean, you're basically ruining the game, for them. So a lot of them are not happy about it.
Although we have Tom who says
lucky.
He didn't cause the Rams to lose that game. Go ahead.
So that was the scariest part, because we knew that if we weren't fast enough and sneaky enough, that they were going to grab us and even maybe hurt us. So if you notice, this happened the last maybe 8 minutes of the game, because we were standing there and waiting for an opportunity. And finally, a few people that were at the edge of the area that we were at left, because their team lost. And as soon as they left, we were able to crawl under the table and get onto the field. But yes, it's scary. It's scary knowing that you might get tackled. I got tackled, but I'm not injured. But Emek was tackled pretty roughly. She has bruises all over her. But at the end, the whole point is to show the world what's going on in the dark in these factory farms, and bring light to this issue. I would do it again. I think that if you are in a position where you can get arrested, you have a lifestyle where you can do things like that, you should. And I feel so supported by DXC that the support makes you feel comfortable to take these actions. We're a family.
To give you some background for those who are just joining us, we're talking to the two women who ran onto the field at SoFi Stadium this past Thursday, September 8th, and they were tackled to the ground. They were removed. It got tons of media coverage, and they did it for a reason. They wore shirts that she's wearing right now, Katia, and I think you are too, Right to Rescue. Right2rescue.com. And you hear people in the stadium going, Right2rescue.com. What is that?
Yeah.
And it's all about the trial of these two men, Wayne Hsiung, the foreground, and Paul Picklesimer. I'm not sure if that's Paul, but basically,
that's
Wayne
Paul.
and Paul. Okay, Wayne and Paul rescued these two piglets from a factory farm in Utah. They are going on trial in October, and they face 11 years in prison each. And the judge has ruled. See, Direct Action Everywhere, the organization that Wayne co-founded, videotaped the entire what they call open rescue, what the prosecution calls felony crime. And they videotaped the factory farm, they broadcast it. It got coverage in major media, including the New York Times. And now the judge has ruled that they cannot show video of the crime being committed, the crime for which they are being tried, even though they captured with 3D cameras video of the entire thing from beginning to end. The judge is not allowing them to show the video of the crime in progress, which many people feel is very unfair. Now, of course, they have a right to appeal, but only after the case. So they are going in trial next month. And tell me why you felt at this juncture, Emek, that was cause for going onto the field. What was it that made you do that now?
So first of all, when I saw the mother piglet with the burst bleeding nipple that the baby was suckling from, it was just horrendous to see the baby covered in blood. Like, I don't see any difference between a human mom and her baby and another animal baby. So that was a huge, I can't accept some cruelty like that. And now they are forcing for an anonymous jury, which only happens in like enormous mafia criminal cases situations. Why are the defendants unable to have a say in the jury selection, which doesn't make any sense? Like, who's selecting jury and what kind of, what are they looking for in the jury, and who's going to decide who's going to say what? It's just too much for me to process, to see all these negativity coming towards us and our friends just for doing the right thing. If we were rescuing a dog or a cat, we would be heroes. What's the difference? This is speciesism, which is human created concept. We are just disrespectful to other beings, and I don't accept this. They own this planet as much as humans do, and we have to give them their space and nature.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
And what you're referring to is that there was a pretrial hearing this past week where it was determined that there would be an anonymous jury, and there's going to be two juries in this case with two defendants, but the trial is, my understanding, going to happen simultaneously. And the defense attorneys said that is prejudicial because generally anonymous juries are seated only in cases where you have a threat, like as you mentioned, organized crime or something of that nature. And of course, the animal rights movement is based on nonviolence and not hurting people. What you did is what might be characterized as civil disobedience, but you were not violent in what you did. You ran onto the field, you were tackled, you didn't tackle anybody. So Katia, you were going to say something.
No, I was going to say, there's a lot of people that super fans that run the field just for fun, but ours is different. We're trying to bring light to horrendous crimes that are happening and behind closed doors. And I really believe that the pink flare really made a difference, because a lot of people run all the time. And I think that brought a lot of attention. And then our T-shirts, they could read it front and back. But we even had FBI question us. It's just amazing that here we are telling the world to stop torturing animals, and immediately the most powerful organization in the country is alarmed. And they were pretending that they were also animal lovers and animal activists, and they were there not because of the case. They just want to help us rescue animals. Just lie after lie after lie.
Well, we also invite the FBI on. We invite anybody who's connected to this. You know what I always say, it's not the people, it's the system that needs to be looked at. And what I'd like to say is, wow, if your goal was to get attention to this trial, okay, which is happening in a very remote area in Utah, it's quite a drive from Salt Lake City. You succeeded. Again, the coverage of your disruption has made, there's CBS, there's USA Today. I could go on and on. Now, here are the two defendants. It appears it's obviously shrouded in darkness, but you're assuring me that the person behind there is the second defendant, but we know that that's Wayne Hsiung in the foreground. And they are about to go on trial. And, sometimes the mainstream media, which I was in for 40 years, I'll say this, doesn't cover these cases. They don't cover these cases. They need to actually look at this, because even beyond animal rights, there are constitutional issues. I've covered crime for years, and normally when prosecutors get a hold of, which is very rare, a videotape of the crime in progress, that's gold. They love that. That's a home run. In fact, the old joke is, well, if he committed the crime, where's the videotape? Now the defense got the videotape and is presenting to the court, and the judge has ruled, no, you can't show it. And essentially, my understanding is the argument is that the conditions there would make the jurors emotional, and they might make an emotional decision. Well, if the conditions are such that the jury would have an emotional reaction, is that telling? The judge has said this is not a case about animal rights. This is a case about breaking an entry, essentially. That's the question. What is this trial really about? I want to thank both of you. Let's give some final thoughts to each one of you before we sign off. Again, we are talking exclusively to the two women who raced onto SoFi Stadium field during the NFL season opener between the Bills and the Rams. And they created quite an uproar. You were arrested officially, right?
Yes, we spent time in custody, and we were separated. And initially, Emek had more charges. They dropped them. She can tell you about it.
Huh. What do you have to say about that, Emek?
They were trying to charge me $20,000 like fake thing that I did vandalism and graffiti. I'm like,
yeah, graffiti on.
Katia was saying, did you do the graffiti with the smoke flare? Because that's all I had in my head.
Graffiti in the sky.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to thank both of you ladies. Let's give you the final word, Katia, before we go.
I just want everyone to take action. It's not enough to just be vegan. You need to be a vegan activist. Please look up the righttorescue.com and get active and help the animals. Thank you.
All right. So many comments coming in from people. And it's really very supportive of your action from the comments we are getting. I haven't seen anybody, although we are known to have an audience of animal lovers. Nobody who has commented has said anything negative about what you did. Again, we invite the corporations, all the corporations, any government agency involved to come on Unchained TV and comment and give their opinion and respond. Thank you so very much. I know you are recuperating today. Thank you for taking the time to—
Can I say one more thing before we go?
Of course.
Like, I think this is really important. Like, we're activists now. We have very limited amount of money to do anything. That's why we want to do these kind of actions. Whereas the Smithfield Foods is a huge company that does millions of dollars contribution to political groups, including the Attorney General Sean Reyes' campaign. So these are all unacceptable things. They have to be impartial. And I love animals, and I'll do everything I can to always defend them. And please do that too, whatever you can. When you love someone, you protect them and defend them. Same thing for animals. Just do whatever you can. Go vegan, share posts, support activists, and be there for us and for all the activists that are saving everybody and the planet as well. And thank you very much, Jane, for always leading the way to being an amazing reporter and a person. We really appreciate your input.
Well, thank you. It's a team effort. Unchained TV is mostly volunteer, hundreds of volunteers around the world going live on Facebook. And we also have an app, vegan streaming network, which you can get on your phone for free. It's part of our nonprofit. You can also get it on
It's a great app.
yeah,
Thank
via
you.
Amazon Fire Stick.
Thank
Yeah, via Amazon Fire Stick, via Apple TV device, via Roku device. In fact, we have a 18-minute interview with Wayne Hsiung, who was one of the defendants on Unchained TV. And he, by the way, was a constitutional law professor. So
Yes.
he's not just an ordinary activist. Wayne Hsiung, who you are looking at here, the gentleman in the foreground, was a constitutional law professor. And so, he's actually going to be at this point representing himself. These trials change, but at this point he is representing himself in his case. All right, ladies, we're going to leave it. We're going to go out with you on the field. Thank you for joining us.
No. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that's so funny. We were right here. Security is just like,
Hey, what they doing?
they're not going to be like,
Hey!
What is she going to do? She
Get the people
protest her.
Tackle her. Tackle her.
Oh! Hit her head and everything. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh, now they're going to jail.